Welcome back to another episode of Carson's Aquatics. Today, I'm going to be showing you how I built this without spending a ton of this. In case you missed it, I recently built this beautiful 200-gallon pond in my front yard, and I filmed the whole thing, so feel free to go back and watch those videos. This was a budget pond build, so I was trying to spend as little as possible, but still make it look nice. I think the best way for me to do this is to just start from the very beginning and take you through the whole pond build, and just add up the costs as we go. So let's get started. Before starting construction on the pond, I took my time planning it out. I made a few different drawings and designs and chose my favorite. I then called 811 and had them come scan for underground utility lines, which was completely free. And when I was told the area was clear, I began raking away the lava rock and digging out this giant bush stump and this plant that were in the way. I laid out an extension cord in the shape that I wanted the pond to be, and I spray painted around it, and then I started digging the actual pond. Ironically enough, I hit a gutter drainage pipe, which wasn't a huge deal, but I did have to redesign and remark the entire pond. So then I started digging the new pond. I made two different shelves so that I could have a shallow area and a deep area in the pond. And I used the dirt from this hole to stack up the waterfall area. And after the pond was dug, I started digging out the waterfall. When I was done with that, I went inside and started building the intake bay, which is pretty much a more natural looking skimmer. This white cage stuff is called egg crate. It was $13.50. And this trash can was $10, and I got both of those things at Lowe's. This pump was $24 off of Amazon, but it's pretty weak and I'm gonna be upgrading it soon. I already had the filter padding, so it was free to me, but I'll just add like $5 to the total. I then went back outside and dug the hole for the intake bay, and then dug the trench to connect the intake bay to the waterfall. The waterfall spillway was $26 and the 3/4 inch tubing was $19. Both of which I also got at Lowe's. I then buried the tubing and called it a day. The next day, me and Elmadine from Team Based Outdoors went down to this private lake that we fish at and collected rocks. I want to stop here and say that this step is what really saved me the most money in this pond build. I did not buy any rocks for this pond. My buddy Elmadine is close friends with the property owner, and he gave us full permission to take whatever rocks we wanted from the property. I believe in most states it is legal to collect rocks from public land for non-commercial use, which basically means you can't sell them. So if you do choose to collect the rocks yourself, just do your research first to make sure it's legal in your area and to make sure you aren't taking the rocks from private property. But after we collected the rocks, we went back to my place and laid out a couple tarps over the pond to act as our underlayment. I already had these tarps, so it was free for me, but I'll throw another $15 onto the total. We then put on the pond liner, which I also got from Lowe's for $100. We then started filling the pond with water just to let it start taking shape and getting most of the wrinkles out of the liner. We then added a few rocks to the pond before cutting off the excess liner and putting that in place on the waterfall. I then turned on the pump just to make sure it flowed correctly. I then turned off the pump and finished rocking the waterfall and the pond. I also sprayed expandable foam in some areas just to make sure the water flowed where I wanted it to. This can of expandable foam costed $14 from Lowe's. We planted a few plants which costed a total of $40 from a local gardening store. I then figured out how many gallons are in this pond by seeing how long my hose takes to fill up a 5-gallon bucket, then seeing how long it takes to fill up the entire pond, and then doing a little bit of math. I then turned on the waterfall for good, and at this point we just had landscaping to do. We got a truckload of mulch for $25 from a local material store and mulched the surrounding area of the pond. We then collected a bit more gravel and I laid it around the perimeter of the pond. I added the water dechlorinator, which again I had, but I'll just throw another $5 onto the total. And now this pond is complete. The grand total comes out to about $296.50. My initial goal for this pond was to keep it under $200, and I probably could have, but it just wouldn't look as nice. But yeah. Hopefully I just proved to all of you guys that you don't need a lot of money to build a pond, you just need to know how to use it. Today's comment of the day goes out to Kurt Barbecue. Hey Carson, thank you so much for the amazing content for all of us. You inspired me to buy a turtle. Hope I could follow your successful footsteps. Also, congratulations on 8K subscribers. You truly deserve it. Thank you very much, Kurt. I appreciate that. And at this point, we're almost at 10K and I plan on doing a giveaway at 10K. So stay tuned, and if you want your comment to be the comment of the day in the next video, all you gotta do is drop a comment down below, and that could happen. I hope I gave you guys some ideas that you can incorporate into your next pond build. If I did, and if you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and I am gonna see you in the next video. Without spending a lot of this. I'm trying to get it to like sprinkle. Without spending a ton of this. That just hit me in the eye.